Hey guys, Prowl1701 here. Today we're going to talk about episode 5 of season 2 of Doctor Who, The Story and the Engine. First off, I have to say how much I loved the incidental music here. I made a note of that constantly as I was listening to the episode, that I was really pleased with the incidental music and how it was accentuating the scenes. It felt perfect for the scenes. I was very, very pleased with the music and how it added to every scene. Visually, once again, this season has been very impressive visually, and I, again, love the direction. I love the camera work. I also like the grading. I noticed that, too. The colors really pop in this episode, like when they're walking through the town, when you're seeing the web, the World Wide Web. I love that name. The colors really popped in this episode. I continue to be impressed with the visuals. I really liked Ncuti Gatwa's performance here. He is a different kind of Doctor. But, I mean, that's been the case since 1966. Patrick Troughton is a different Doctor than William Hartnell. John Pertwee is a different Doctor than Patrick Troughton. He's also a different Doctor than William Hartnell. So it's not, that's not a criticism to say he's a different Doctor. Most of the Doctors are different to each other. And I really feel like I get a good feeling for 15's Doctor in this episode. I really like him. I enjoy his speech at the beginning about wanting to belong and how Belinda's like, that's a very human trait. One of the reasons she's like, yeah, go on to your barbershop. That she connects with that. I like that she connects with him on that, even though he's an alien, that it's a very human feeling. And I get that. I get being somewhere where you are comfortable, that feels almost like a home. I enjoy that. I like the guest cast. Now, not all of the guest cast get a lot of fleshing out. Even the barber, the older one, the one that's the Doctor's friend, doesn't get a lot of fleshing out, and he gets more than the rest. The woman that works in the shop, more on her later. We get a little bit for her. We do get some of her backstory. I really like the actor playing the main antagonist of the story, the barber. He's good. I know he's been in Doctor Who before. He was the lion guy in, what is it, the Woman Who Lived, is that the name of it? The one that had Game of Thrones girls in it, a Game of Thrones girl in it. And he was great in that, too. I like him as an actor. I've seen him in other stuff. I know I have. I really like him. He's a good actor. He does a really good job in this at playing the barber, because the barber goes through a lot of emotions. He goes through a lot of things. He goes, from being enigmatic and being slightly scary. He does a lot of good acting with his face here, the way he's looking at the camera sometimes, where he's a mystery. He's, very enigmatic. And then he's, there's a quiet threat to him, an underlying threat to him at parts, to him being menacing, to him being more vulnerable, to him seeking forgiveness by the end, almost. And he does a really good job of threading that needle between all of those different emotions and how he has to play that character. So my hat's off to him. I like the fact the story is basically a bottle story. It doesn't really tie in to the seasonal plot. I like this. You can watch this story as a standalone story and really enjoy that. And I like that. We get one little bit with Mrs. Flood, and it's not at the end of the episode like we've gotten lately. One little bit when we're seeing some of Belinda's life in that one scene, and it's a blink and you'll miss it thing practically. So it's really a standalone story. I can go back and watch this anytime without having to watch the whole season or having to deal with seasonal arcs going on in the background. I really, really enjoy that. It's interesting. Now, some of this may dip into more lore than I'm familiar with. Like, I don't know a lot of Nigerian lore and beliefs and their religious practices. I don't really know that. So I don't know if there may be references I'm missing here. I did think it was neat learning. I like the fake out with the barber. How he claims he was all these people and the Doctor just laughs at him. That's kind of funny. And he's like, and I love listening to the Doctor explain how he's met all those people, all those different gods. Like he's like, I watched all the MCU movies with this one. That was funny to me, because that's very the Doctor to have met all these gods. It's so the Doctor. So the Doctor. So the fact he just laughed at all that, I thought it was great. I enjoyed that. I loved when they're telling the story, it shows the artwork on that screen, like at the beginning, the cold open, that flashback of the doctor putting out that fire. I love that it does that in the story, and I love the way they actually animated that. That style of animation they used for that looked fantastic. I like that we got the flashback with Belinda when the doctor's talking about how fascinating an ordinary life can be, which kind of made me think back to Human Nature, Family of Blood two-parter, when the doctor saw, or I should say John Smith saw the life he could have had, the normal life. It kind of made me think of that. But seeing Belinda just in her everyday routine, I enjoyed that as well. I thought that was really well executed. The story really goes in directions I wasn't expecting. Learning that our antagonist isn't really evil, he's motivated by very human things. Revenge, frustration, just wanting a little bit of recognition for his work. And that's definitely something most workers, I think, in 2025 can understand. But you get that here, that wanting recognition for your work. You know, if you create something, you want some credit for it, a little appreciation, something. And how that can fester and frustrate and anger and basically poison you in a way. And that's kind of what it does here. The fact he got tossed out because the web could operate without him, the gods tossed him out, and he wants revenge. It's a very understandable, very human motivation. And there's been a lot of that this season, I've noticed. We've actually had, despite all the talk of gods and all of that, we've had a lot of very human foes. Episode 1, we had a very human foe with Alan. Episode 4, we had a very human foe with Conrad. And now episode 5, we have what at the end of the day is a very human foe with the barber. And that's fascinating to me. But they're all different. Like, it's not just one cookie cutter way they're bad. They're all bad in different ways, even though I don't really consider the barber bad. I understand his motivations. I connect with him, whereas I don't really connect with Alan and Conrad. I don't connect with them at all. Whereas the barber, I can really understand his motivations and understand what could lead him to feeling the way he does and doing what he does. And, just seeing him kind of, I don't know if redeem is the right word, but seeing how he rolls with things and how, he turns around at the end of the story, I like. And how even the other people he had trapped there turn around. Nobody dislikes him at the end of the story. With the old barber, the older guy, basically retiring and giving him the barbershop. I like that. I like the exchange between them there a lot. I like that the doctor and the older barber, the previous barber, actually have conflict in one episode because the doctor feels betrayed and that he tells the guy, I'll never trust you again. I like the little friction there. And I like how by the end of the episode they've mended that and give each other a hug. This doctor, unlike 12, is definitely a hugging doctor. Now, it's interesting how different 15 and 12 are. It really is. So I like that they mend they mend their friendship at the end of the story. I did enjoy that a lot. The reference with the other woman who's in there and the doctor realizing he recognized her. It was an interesting scene, and I was not expecting, of course, getting into spoilers, not that I haven't done that already, that quick scene we get with Joe Martin. Quick, where it pans over and it looks like they brought Joe Martin in just for that real quick shot. Learning that she had met not just one of the previous doctors, but the fugitive doctor. Now, I thought it would have been neat if it panned over and you would have had, like, Matt Smith or Tennant or Capaldi just for a few seconds. But still, I like getting more fugitive doctor. I like the fugitive doctor. I like Joe Martin. So it's nice even getting her just for a few seconds. That's a little weird because how does the doctor remember being the fugitive doctor? Did he ever open the watch? Maybe at some point he opened the watch, or maybe it's just little bits slipping through that happens occasionally. Maybe that's why he couldn't fully remember her, although he did remember the game where he played with her father. But again, maybe it's just because he was on a roll and it slipped through. Much like how in The Mind of Evil, when the doctor tells that one guy, I am a scientist and have been for several thousand of your, and he catches himself. when we know, as far as he knows, the Doctor's only supposed to be about 750 at the time. So I sometimes think his previous memories, his erased memories, slip through without him realizing it. So that could be what that is. That's pretty neat. I do enjoy how the Doctor kind of hijacks the engine and we get those shots of the previous Doctors. I really like the music there. The music that plays there, again, really good. Really like the incidental music. It's nice getting those shots of the previous Doctors. Even get a shot of the Daleks in color, which I liked. Nice seeing McGann for a split second. Of course, I love seeing Tom Baker, my dude. And of course, it's that iconic shot of him looking up, which is from, I think it's from Planet of Evil. I can't remember if that's Planet of Evil or Pyramids of Mars. My mind is blanking on me, which is odd. I love both stories. I believe that's Planet of Evil. It's either Planet of Evil or Pyramids of Mars. Actually, I think it's Pyramids of Mars. Yeah, the beginning of it. That sounds right. Yeah, I don't know where my brain was for a second. And you guys know I love Pyramids of Mars. But I also love Planet of Evil. So I love that iconic shot of him looking up. That's a really, really good camera shot. And then later in the shot, how it pans back to him putting his hands in his pocket, tilting his hat back. I love that shot. But yeah, this one, again, not a masterpiece. Not a masterpiece. Not essential Doctor Who. But it is nice to see other areas on Earth. Like the fact we're not in Britain, we're not in America. You know, we're in Nigeria. That's fantastic. I mean, I know they didn't really film it in Nigeria, but I like the Doctor going to different locations on Earth, places you don't really see much. Like in Mask of Mandragora when they went to Italy. That was neat. I love seeing other locations, so it was nice getting a little taste of culture there, a little taste of another culture. Again, I loved the scenes when they were walking through the town and stuff. That was really neat to see. Stuff like that fascinates me. So I really enjoyed that. The ending is good. It's not the greatest ending in the world, but it was a good ending. I liked it. It circumvented my expectations, especially with a giant spider, expecting it to be, you know, some kind of the pantheon of the gods, and it's really not. It's something a guy invented. The web and the spider. That's fascinating to me. I like how it circumvented my expectations there. So I do think we're 5 for 5, though. I don't think any of the stories have been bad. I'm really not sure how I would rank them at this point. This is an episode, again, I'm curious at what I'm going to think of it on rewatch, especially now. Because, you know, the first time you watch it, you don't know what's going to happen. But now that I've seen it, I know what's going to happen. But I think this one will be all right. I think it's another B-tier story for me. Great music, great visually. It's visually impressive. It's a good story. I like the fact that there have been no bad stories this season. Lucky Day has probably been my least favorite. Again, C tier. Nice, but C tier. I'm not quite sure how they rank. Other than that, it's going to be really hard ranking this season. But 5 for 5 with no bad stories. I would argue no masterpieces. Like, this isn't Season 13 of Classic Who, or Season 7 of Classic Who, or even Series 3 or Series 1 of Modern Who, but it is consistently good, which is something modern Doctor Who, especially post-Series 5, doesn't manage to do very often. So I'm very pleased that every story has been some level of good, decent to good, and I'm really enjoying that. So, the story in the engine. What do you think of it? Comment down below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon. If you would like to support me on that, I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Sam Venning, Unknown289, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It's very much appreciated. I also have a P.O. box as well. If there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review, Simon sent me a couple Dalek novels recently. Very much appreciate that. Looking forward to reading those. I also have a link to my Amazon wishlist down there and a link to my Amazon UK wishlist down there as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.